Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to Tower Simulator and Tower Companion as I continue my onward journey to level 20 so that basically everything is available. So I believe I'm going to look for Japan. Alright, 86. It's 10 a.m. So that looks like a good choice. Because, yeah, given what time it is, I figured Asia will be doing pretty well. It's a little early for Dubai and those places. So that's going to be a challenging one. You know, maybe in the morning I could do the evening there. We'll see. We'll see what things look like. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have most everything. All commercial flights. Hoping we're going to get spotted livery. That would be awesome. Alright, so 10:40 in the morning. We'll get this going. 16 left, 16 right would be the correct things to use with the wind. It's hard to find proper setups for airports because they're not reporting METARs and things like that. Well, they are reporting METARs, but they don't have ATIS. So I don't know if they don't use them in Japan or it's just something that Navigraph and stuff can't get. But it's hard to find, just like it was hard to find for Schiphol as well. But this should work. Again, 83 flights. Alright, so it's pretty basic. Sadly, doesn't look like we're going to catch, well, we won't catch any special liveries. So, a little disappointing. Lots of planes to get going right away. So, 16 left over there by the water. 16 right over here. So, we'll be departing similarly over there and over there. And 16 rights right here.
China 73086 with information Bravo, requesting push and start.
Where is it? Why am I not seeing it? This is not good. China Southern 3086, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. I don't know where it is.
Expect runway 16 left.
Let's see.
China 73086.
Okay. We're going to send him to 16 right. Okay, so there's some over there.
Japan Air 933 with information Bravo, requesting push and start.
Japan Air 933, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 933.
Again, separation. All right.
Ground, on Nippon 375 with information Bravo, requesting push and start.
Where are these? Okay. All Nippon 375, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. On Nippon 375.
All right, and 3 approaching. There are 6 at 10:45, so...
Ground, all Nippon 571 with information Bravo, requesting push and start.
All Nippon 571, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 571.
China Southern 3086, taxi to runway 16 right.
Taxi to runway 16 right. China 73086. Ground, China 73086 ready to taxi.
Tower, Air 262 on final 16 right.
Tower, Japan Air 254 on final 16 left.
Air 262, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Japan Air 254, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Japan Air 933, taxi to runway 16 right.
Runway 16 right, clear to land. Air 262.
Runway 16 left, clear to land. Japan Air 254.
Taxi to runway 16 right. Japan Air 933.
Japan Air 933, taxi to runway 16 right via Alpha. It
Taxi
should
to
run
runway
it out
16
there.
right
There we
via
go.
Alpha. Japan Air 933. Ground. Japan Air 933 ready to taxi.
Ground. All Nippon 375 ready to taxi.
All Nippon 375, taxi to runway 16 left.
Taxi to runway 16 left. All Nippon 375.
Okay.
Ground. All Nippon 571 ready to taxi.
All Nippon 571, taxi to runway 16 left.
Taxi to runway 16 left. All Nippon 571.
And I've controlled this, like in mini airways and other things, but
heavy on final 16 right.
all Nippon 244 heavy, runway 16 right, cleared to land. So that's the nice thing. We might get a bunch of
Runway 16
heavies.
right, clear to land. All Nippon
So
244
if we can do that, that would be awesome. You would think there would be a quicker way, but it's running around this way. I don't know why it wouldn't come in here. China Southern 3086, taxi to runway 16 right. Yeah, it's going way out.
Negative.
Like, that's a
Invalid
long
target.
way.
China Southern 3086.
Alright. It'll be what it'll be. Alright.
Ground. Air 189 heavy with information Bravo. Requesting push and start.
Where are you? Oh my goodness. Ava 189 heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right.
All
Air
Nippon
189
375, 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Negative. Use only with takeoff. All Nippon 375.
All Nippon 375, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 571, runway 16 left, line up and wait.
Runway 16 left. Clear for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. All Nippon 375.
Runway 16 left. Line up and wait. All Nippon 571.
China Southern 3086, cross runway 22. Japan Air 933. Where are they all going? Why are they all going around that
Runway
way?
22. China Southern 3086.
That's ridiculous.
Tower. All Nippon 534 on final 16 left.
All Nippon 110 heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 534, runway 16 left, cleared to land. All Nippon 605, pushback approved, runway 16 left. All Nippon 847 heavy, pushback approved, runway 16 left. All Nippon 674 heavy, runway 16 right, cleared to land. So yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what these are.
Runway 16 left.
Japan
Clear to
Air
land.
933, cross runway 22.
Negative. I'm on the ground. All Nippon 605.
Pushback approved facing south. All Nippon 847 heavy.
Runway 16 right, clear to land. All Nippon 674 heavy.
All Nippon 605, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left.
Cross runway 22. Japan Air 933.
Ava 189 heavy, taxi to runway 16 right.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 605.
China Southern 3086, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Taxi to runway 16 right. Ava 189 heavy.
Japan Air 933, runway 16 right. Line up and wait. All Nippon 571, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. China 738.
Japan Air 254, taxi to terminal. All Nippon 110 heavy, taxi to runway 16 left via Charlie.
Runway 16 right. Line up and wait.
Oh, good.
Japan Air 933.
Now they're facing each other.
Runway
Really?
16 left. Cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 571.
Alright, well, we're going
Taxi to
to...
terminal. Japan Air 254. Taxi to runway 16 left via Charlie. All Nippon 110
goodness.
heavy.
Oh,
Tower,
goodness.
All Nippon 674 heavy on final 16 right.
That's not good.
Ava 189 heavy ready to taxi.
Ground. All Nippon 110 heavy ready to taxi.
Tower, Asiana 1085 heavy on final 16 left.
Ground. All
Right.
Nippon 847 heavy ready to taxi.
All Nippon 847 heavy, runway 16 left.
Runway 16 left. Omnipon 847 heavy.
Ground. All Nippon 605 ready for taxi.
Adu 62, taxi to terminal.
Taxi
Where
to
is it
terminal.
going?
Air 262.
I think he's going in there, but okay. All Nippon 244 heavy, taxi to terminal.
Taxi to terminal. All Nippon 244 heavy.
All Nippon 244 heavy, taxi to terminal via hotel.
Taxi to terminal. All Nippon 244 heavy.
All Nippon 244 heavy, taxi to terminal via hotel.
Taxi to terminal via hotel. All Nippon 244 heavy.
Whoops. All Nippon 244 heavy, taxi to terminal via Gulf. My goodness,
Taxi to
this is
terminal
not going
via
well.
Gulf. All Nippon 244 heavy.
Asiana 1085 heavy, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Runway 16 left, cleared to land.
All
Asiana
Nippon
1085
793, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left.
heavy. Negative, unknown command, All Nippon 793.
All Nippon 793, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 534, taxi to terminal.
Pushback approved, expect runway
8062,
16 left.
hold
All
position.
Nippon 793.
Taxi to terminal. All Nippon 530.
Japan 254, hold position. Adu 62, taxi to terminal via Gulf.
Hold position, Air 262.
Hold position. Japan Air 254.
Taxi to terminal, via Gulf, Air 262.
All Nippon 534, hold position. Alright, this is...
Ground. All
This
Nippon
is
110
getting a
heavy.
lot.
Information Bravo. Requesting push and start.
Japan Air 933, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Whoops. Japan Air 933, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 110 heavy, runway 16 left, line up and wait.
Negative. Need correct runway. Japan Air 933.
Clearly this
Negative.
didn't hold.
Need correct runway. Japan Air 933.
Runway 16 left. Line up and wait. All Nippon 110 heavy.
Japan Air 933, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Ava 189 heavy, cross runway 22.
Runway 16 right. Cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Speedbird
Japan
5
Air
Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Japan Air 432, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Cross runway 22.
All Nippon
Air
110 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 847 Heavy, runway 16 left, line up and wait.
Runway 16 right, clear to land. Speedbird 5 Heavy.
Japan Air 254, taxi to terminal.
Runway 16 left, clear to land. Japan Air 432.
Runway 16
Japan Air
left,
254,
clear for
continue
immediate takeoff.
taxi.
On reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Come on, don't
All
get
Nippon
stuck
110
again.
Heavy. Taxi to terminal. Japan Air 254. Continue taxi. Japan Air 254.
Tower, Speedbird 5 Heavy on final 16 right.
Tower.
Japan Air
432
254,
on
taxi
final
to terminal
16
via
left.
Whiskey.
Ground, on Nippon 793, ready to taxi.
Tower, Japan Air 306 Heavy on final 16 right.
Tower, Japan Air 492 on final 16 left.
Air Nippon 674 Heavy.
Ground.
All Nippon
605
674 Heavy.
Bravo, requesting push and start.
Japan 254, continue taxi.
Continue taxi. Japan Air 254.
All Nippon 674 Heavy. Taxi to terminal via Gulf.
Taxi to terminal, via Golf. On Nippon 674 Heavy.
Asiana 1085 Heavy, taxi to terminal.
Taxi to terminal. Asiana 1085
All Nippon
Heavy.
793, taxi to runway 16 left via Alpha.
Taxi to runway 16 left.
All Nippon
via Alpha.
847
All
Heavy,
Nippon 793.
runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Ava 189 Heavy, runway 16 right, line up and wait.
Runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. On Nippon 847 Heavy.
Japan Air 254, taxi to terminal via Whiskey.
Runway 16 right, line up and wait. Ava 189 Heavy.
Where is it going?
Taxi to terminal via Whiskey. Japan Air 254.
Sky 71. Skymark 711, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Ski mark 711.
Japan Air 12 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Ground. On Nippon
Japan Air
47
39 Heavy,
Bravo,
pushback approved,
requesting push and
expect
start.
runway 16 right. Japan Air 39er Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 12 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Negative, unknown command. Japan Air 39 Heavy. Pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Japan Air
Asiana
39 Heavy.
1085 Heavy, taxi to terminal.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 12 Heavy.
Taxi to terminal. Asiana 1085
Ava
Heavy.
189. Oh, no, we're not going to go. Japan Air 306 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Japan Air 492, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Runway 16 right, clear to land. Japan Air 306 Heavy.
Runway 16 left, clear to land. Japan Air 492.
Japan Air 163, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 163, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Skymark
Japan Air
71,
163.
taxi to runway 16 right at Alpha 13.
Unable to take off from this runway. The runway is too short for takeoff. Ski mark 711. Ground, ski mark 711 ready to taxi.
Skymark 711, taxi to runway 16 right.
Taxi to runway 16 right. Ski mark 711.
Japan Air 39 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 right. Speedbird 5 Heavy, taxi to terminal.
Taxi to runway 16 right. Japan Air 39 Heavy.
Oh my god.
Taxi to terminal. Speedbird 5 Heavy.
Where is this
Ground,
one going?
Japan Air 39 Heavy ready
Al
to
Nippon
taxi.
793, taxi to runway 16 left. Why is it going that far?
Taxi to runway 16 left. All Nippon 793.
Al Nippon 841 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Asiana
41 Heavy.
1085 Heavy, taxi to terminal via Charlie.
Taxi to terminal via Charlie. Asiana 1085 Heavy.
Ground, Japan Air 12 Heavy ready to taxi.
Alright, thank God.
Ground, all Nippon 793 with information. Bravo, requesting push and
Japan
start.
Air 12 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 right.
Taxi to runway 16 right.
Ava
Japan Air
189
12
Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Oh my god.
Runway 16 right. Cleared for immediate takeoff on reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Ava 189 Heavy.
Tower, Skymark 302 on final 16 right.
Tower, Starflyer 42 on final 16 left.
This is just not a good thing. Skymark 711. Okay, keep going.
Ground, Japan Air 12 Heavy with information. Bravo, requesting push and
We
start.
found a way through. Skymark 711, cross runway 22.
Cross runway
Japan
22.
Air 39 Heavy,
Ski mark
hold
711.
position.
Hold position. Japan Air 39 Heavy.
Alright, what have we got here now? Japan Air 315 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 306 Heavy, taxi to terminal.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 315 Heavy.
Japan Air 306 Heavy, taxi to terminal.
Taxi to terminal. Japan Air 306 Heavy. Taxi to terminal. Japan Air 306 Heavy.
Japan Air 306 Heavy, taxi to terminal via hotel.
Taxi to terminal via hotel. Japan Air 306 Heavy.
Japan Air 306 Heavy, taxi to terminal via Alpha.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha. Japan Air 306 Heavy. Ground, All Nippon 841 Heavy ready to taxi.
Tower, Japan Air 476 on final 16 right.
Sky 711, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Japan Air 39 Heavy, continue taxi.
Runway
All
16
Nippon
right.
841
Cleared for
Heavy,
immediate takeoff
taxi
on
to
reaching
runway
altitude
16
500.
right
Contact departure.
via
Ski mark
Charlie.
711.
Japan Air 432, taxi to terminal. Japan Air 492, taxi to terminal. Japan Air 163, taxi to runway 16 right.
Continue taxi. Japan Air 39 Heavy.
Taxi to runway 16
Japan Air
right.
553
Via
Heavy,
Charlie.
pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 163, taxi to runway 16 right.
Taxi to terminal. Japan Air 432. Taxi to terminal.
Japan Air
492.
315 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 right. Skymark 302, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Starflyer 42, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Japan Air 476, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Japan Air 39 Heavy, cross runway 22. All Nippon 654, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Japan Air 174, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Japan Air 12 Heavy, cross runway 22. Japan Air 39 Heavy, runway 16 right, line up and wait. All Nippon 793, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 21 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 61 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 837 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. Japan Air 553 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 right.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 553 Heavy.
All Nippon 841 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 left.
Taxi to runway 16 right. Japan Air 163.
Taxi to runway 16 right. Japan Air 315 Heavy. Runway 16 right, clear to land.
Oh boy.
302.
Oh boy.
Runway 16 left. Clear to land.
That was bad.
Starflyer 42.
Runway 16 right, clear to land. Japan Air 476.
Cross runway 22.
I'm doing a bad job, I'll tell you
Runway
that.
16 left. Clear to land. Omnipod 654.
Japan Air 6 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Runway 16 right.
Japan Air 39 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 622 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Japan Air 12 Heavy, runway 16 right, line up and wait.
Cross runway 22. Japan Air 12 Heavy.
What did I do?
Runway 16
Oh, okay.
right. Line up and wait. Japan Air 39 Heavy.
Runway 16 left. Cleared for immediate takeoff.
So,
Reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
let me
Omnipod
pause here.
793.
Yeah, I messed that one up. Like, that would have been really bad, but we'll clear it because we can do that. But so yeah, we'll get rid of the Skymark. Okay. F7.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 21 Heavy.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 61 Heavy.
Alright, I think I need to get rid of both of them is the issue. Because they're both basically crashed. Okay. So yeah, I'm just trying to stay ahead of the craziness.
Pushback approved. Expect
All
runway
Nippon
16
61
left.
Heavy,
All
taxi to
Nippon
runway
7
16
Heavy.
left.
Taxi to runway 16 right. Japan Air 553 Heavy.
Taxi to runway 16 left. On 841 Heavy.
Pushback
Oh.
approved. Expect runway 16 right. Japan
Actually,
Air
it was
6 Heavy.
these. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. So yeah, this is turning into a big mess. So I guess we get rid of the Skymark. So that's actually the one that had the problem.
Runway 16 right. Clear
Okay.
for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Japan Air 39 Heavy.
Runway 16 left, clear to land. Omnipod 622 Heavy.
Japan 476, exit at hotel.
Runway 16 right. Line up and wait. Japan Air 12 Heavy. Taxi to runway 16 left. All Nippon 61 Heavy.
Alright. So I need to get him to cross is what I need to do. Actually, no, I just need to delete him. Yeah, this is getting to be difficult. And part of it is, again, once you get behind, it gets really, really hard. All right.
Negative. Invalid direction. Japan Air 476.
Tower.
All right.
Omnipon 654 on final 16 left.
Where's Skymark?
Japan 163 ready to taxi.
Ground. Japan 315 heavy ready to
Skymark
taxi.
613, pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right.
Japan Air
1630.
12 heavy, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Japan Air 315 heavy, cross runway 22. Japan Air 163, cross runway 22. Japan Air 315 heavy, runway 16 right, line up and wait.
Runway 16 right. Cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Okay.
Japan Air 12 heavy.
All Nippon 837 heavy, runway 16 left.
Cross runway 22.
All Nippon 663 heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 654, taxi to terminal. Japan 476, taxi to terminal. Japan Air 659, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 6 heavy, taxi to runway 16 right.
Cross runway 22. Japan Air 163.
Runway 16 right. Line up
Japan
and wait.
163,
Japan
runway
315 heavy.
16 right, line up and wait. Japan Air 553 heavy, cross runway 22.
Runway
All
16
Nippon
left.
841 heavy,
All
runway
Nippon
16
heavy.
left, line up and wait. All Nippon 61 heavy, runway 16 left, line up and wait.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 left.
Air
Omnipon
due, runway
663
82,
heavy.
runway 16 right, cleared to land.
Taxi to terminal. Omnipon 654.
Japan Air 174, taxi to terminal.
Taxi to terminal. Japan Air 476.
Japan Air 174, taxi to terminal.
Japan Air 659.
Taxi to runway 16 right. Japan Air 6 heavy.
Japan Air 174, taxi to terminal via Alpha.
Negative. Unable. Japan Air 163.
Cross runway 22. Japan Air 553 heavy.
All Nippon 21 heavy, taxi to runway 16 left. All Nippon 654, hold position. All Nippon 663 heavy, taxi to runway 16 left.
Runway 16 left. Line up and wait. All Nippon 841 heavy.
Runway 16 left.
All
Line
Nippon
up and wait.
841 heavy, runway 16
heavy.
left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 837 heavy, runway 16 left, line up and wait.
Runway 16 right. Clear.
Japan Air 315 heavy, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Negative. Invalid target. Japan Air 174.
Japan Air 659, taxi to runway 16 right.
Taxi to terminal via Alpha. Japan Air 174.
Taxi to
Air
runway
Nippon
16
965
left.
heavy,
All Nippon 21
pushback
heavy.
approved, expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 654, continue taxi. All Nippon 622 heavy, taxi to terminal.
Hold position. Omnipon 654.
Air due 21 heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left.
Taxi to runway 16 left.
All Nippon
Omnipon
61 heavy,
663
runway 16
heavy.
left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 2-1 Heavy, runway 16 left, line up and wait. Japan Air 163, runway 16 right, line up and wait. Japan Air 553 Heavy, runway 16 right, line up and wait. Japan Air 6 Heavy, cross runway 16 right. Whoops. Japan Air 6 Heavy, cross runway 22.
Runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 841 Heavy.
Runway 16 left. Line up and wait. All Nippon 837 Heavy.
So let's see. We've got another nose to nose. So, yeah, we're gonna kill that one. All right.
Runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Japan Air 315 Heavy.
Okay.
Taxi to runway 16 right. Japan Air
All
659.
Nippon 965 Heavy, pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right.
Continue taxi. On Nippon 654.
All Nippon 837 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. All Nippon 54 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared to land. All Nippon 584 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Japan Air 163, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact... Japan Air 163, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Taxi to terminal. On Nippon 622 Heavy.
Sky Niner, pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 575, pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right. Air Due 82, taxi to terminal.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 left. Air due 21 Heavy.
Air Due 82, taxi to terminal via Alpha.
Runway 16 left. Cleared for immediate takeoff.
Air Due 21 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 left.
All Nippon 61 Heavy.
Air Nippon 965 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 left. All Nippon 21 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. All Nippon 663 Heavy, runway 16 left, line up and wait. We're not going to get a lot of on time here,
Runway
but
16 left. Line up
Japan
and wait.
Air 553
All
Heavy,
Nippon
runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Japan Air 659, cross runway 22. Japan Air 6 Heavy, runway 16 right, line up and wait.
Runway 16 right. Line up and wait. Japan Air 163.
Runway 16 right.
Star
Line up
Flyer
and wait.
77,
Japan Air 553
pushback
Heavy.
approved. Expect runway 16 right.
Cross runway 16 right. Japan Air 6 Heavy.
Air Nippon 965 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 left.
Cross runway 22. Japan Air 6 Heavy.
All Nippon 965 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 left.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right. On Nippon 965 Heavy.
All Nippon 663 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 16 left. Cleared for immediate
Japan
takeoff.
Air
On
659,
reaching
runway
altitude
16 right, line up and
Contact
wait.
departure. All Nippon 837 Heavy.
Runway 16 right.
Japan Air 575, taxi to runway 16 right.
Runway 16 right. Clear to land. All Nippon 584 Heavy.
Command required.
Where's this?
Japan Air 163.
Sky Niner, taxi to runway 16 right.
Runway 16 right. Cleared for immediate takeoff on reaching
Skyniner,
altitude 500.
taxi to
Contact
16
departure.
right.
Japan Air 163.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right. Skymark 9.
Pushback.
Air
approved.
due
Expect
77,
runway 16
pushback
right.
approved. Expect
Japan
runway
Air
16
575.
left.
Taxi to terminal. Air due 82. Taxi to terminal via Alpha.
Japan Air 584 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared to land. All Nippon 20 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared to land. All Nippon 1076 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Taxi to runway 16 left. Air due 21 heavy.
All Nippon 54 Heavy, taxi to terminal via Golf.
Runway 16 left. Cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 21 Heavy.
Runway 16 left. Line up and wait. All Nippon 663 Heavy.
Air due 21 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Runway 16 right. Cleared for immediate takeoff. On
Japan
reaching
Air
altitude
513 Heavy,
contact
pushback
departure.
approved, expect runway 16 right.
Cross
Skymark,
runway 22. Japan Air 659.
Starflyer 77, taxi to runway 16 right via Alpha.
Runway 16 right. Line up and wait. Japan Air 6 Heavy.
Japan Air 6 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right. Starflyer 77.
Taxi to runway 16 left. On Nippon 965 Heavy.
Runway 16 left. Cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500.
Where's
contact
Japan Air
departure.
479?
All Nippon 663 Heavy.
Japan Air 479, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. Whoops. Japan Air 479, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. I don't know where it is, but
Runway 16 right. Line up and wait. Japan Air 659.
Taxi to runway 16
All
right.
Nippon
Japan Air
584 Heavy,
575.
taxi to terminal via Golf.
Taxi to runway 16 right. Skymark 9.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 left. Air due 77.
Japan Air 659, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Yeah, okay, you're
Runway
fine.
16 left. Clear to land. Japan Air 584 Heavy.
Runway 16 right. Cleared to land.
All Nippon 965 Heavy, runway 16 left, line up and wait.
Runway 16 left. Clear to land.
Air due 77, runway 16 left. Air due 7... Okay, there it goes.
Taxi to terminal.
All
Via
Nippon
Golf.
563,
All Nippon 54 Heavy.
pushback approved, expect runway 16 left.
Runway 16 left. Cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Air due 21 heavy.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16
Japan
right.
Air
Japan
513 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 right via Alpha.
Taxi to runway 16 right.
Skymark 9er, cross runway 22.
Runway 16 right. Cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching
All
altitude
Nippon
500,
965 Heavy,
contact
runway
departure.
16 left, cleared
Japan
for
Air 6
immediate
Heavy.
takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Where
Pushback approved.
is
Expect runway 16 left.
Japan Air 479?
Taxi to terminal. Via Golf. All Nippon 584 Heavy.
Runway 16 right. Cleared for immediate takeoff.
Japan Air
On reaching
987
altitude
Heavy,
500.
pushback
Contact
approved, expect
departure.
runway
Japan Air
16 right.
659.
Japan Air 37 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right. All Nippon 20 Heavy, taxi to terminal via Golf.
Runway 16 left. Line up and wait.
All Nippon 5...
965
Whoop,
Heavy.
I don't think he's ready.
Runway 16 left.
Japan Air
Air due
584
77.
Heavy, taxi to terminal.
pushback approved. Expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 563.
Taxi to runway 16 right.
All Nippon 563, taxi to runway 16 left.
Cross runway 22. Ski mark 9.
All Nippon 563, taxi to runway 16 left.
Runway 16 left.
Skymark
Cleared for immediate
9er,
takeoff.
runway
Reaching
16
altitude
right,
500.
line up and wait.
Contact departure. All Nippon 9er
Japan
65 heavy.
Air 575, cross runway 22. Starflyer 77, cross runway 22. Japan Air 152, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Starflyer 12, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Korean Air 2101 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Skymark 512, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 right. Japan Air 987 heavy.
Japan Air 513 Heavy, runway 1... Japan Air 513 Heavy, cross runway 22. Japan Air 575, runway 16 right, line up and wait. Starflyer. Who ran into each other?
Runway 16 right. Japan Air 37 heavy.
Taxi to terminal.
Okay.
Right golf.
Yerf.
Only Nippon 20 heavy.
Alright. Let's go. Let's go there. Alright. God, I hate deleting either one of these, but we're gonna do it because we don't have a choice. Okay. I've had a lot of major controlling mistakes. It's been kind of disappointing.
Taxi to
I
terminal.
mean, I've done
Japan Air
okay, but
584 heavy. Negative. Need pushback.
all
first.
Nippon 1076 Heavy,
563.
taxi to terminal. All Nippon 471 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left.
Taxi to runway 16 left. All Nippon 563.
All Nippon 535, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left.
Runway 16 right. Line up and wait.
Skymark
Ski mark
16
9.
right, cleared for immediate... What? Skymark 9er, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Japan Air 513 Heavy, cross runway 22. Starflyer 77, runway 16 right, line up and wait.
Cross runway 22. Japan Air 575.
Japan Air 37 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 right. Japan Air 987 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 right via Alpha.
Cross runway 22. Starflyer 77.
Runway 16 right. Cleared to land. Japan Air 152.
New Sky 32, runway 16 left, cleared to land. All Nippon 564, runway 16 right, cleared to land.
Runway 16 left. Clear to land. Starflyer
Air
12.
due 77, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. All Nippon 563, runway 16 left, line up and wait.
Runway 16 right. Clear to land. Korean Air
Starflyer
2101.
12, taxi to terminal.
Runway
All
16
Nippon
left.
471
Clear to
Heavy,
land.
taxi to runway 16 left. Starflyer 12, taxi to terminal.
Negative. Unknown command. Japan Air 513 heavy.
Starflyer 12, taxi to terminal via Charlie.
Negative. Unknown command. Japan Air 513 heavy.
Starflyer 12, taxi to terminal via hotel.
Runway 16 right. Line up and wait. Japan Air 575.
Air Nippon 535, taxi to runway 16 left. Air Nippon 535, taxi to runway 16 left. All Nippon 535, taxi to runway 16 left.
Taxi to terminal. All Nippon 1076 heavy.
All Nippon 741, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left.
16 left. All Nippon 471 heavy.
All Nippon 563, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 left.
Japan Air
535.
575, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Japan Air 513 Heavy, runway 16 right, line up and wait. Japan Air 987 Heavy, cross runway 22.
Runway 16 right. Cleared for immediate
Japan
takeoff.
Air
On
152,
reaching
taxi
altitude
to terminal.
500. Contact departure. Schematic 9.
Cross runway 22. Japan Air 513 heavy.
Korean Air 2101 Heavy, taxi to terminal.
Runway 16 right, line up and wait. Starflyer 77. Taxi to runway 16 right, Japan Air 37 heavy.
Japan Air 987 Heavy, runway 16 right, line up and wait. Starflyer 77, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Japan Air 37 Heavy, cross runway 22. Japan Air 504 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared to land. Japan Air 562, runway 16 right, cleared to land. Japan Air 504 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Taxi to runway
Japan Air
16 right.
504 Heavy,
Japan
runway
Air 987
16 left, cleared to land. My goodness.
Runway 16 left. Clear to land. And ski 32.
All Nippon 535, runway 16 left, line up and wait. All Nippon 471 Heavy, runway 16 left, line up and wait.
Runway 16 right. Clear to land.
Skymark
Omnipod
512,
564.
taxi to terminal.
Runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Japan Air
77.
629, pushback approved, expect runway 16 right.
Runway 16 left, line up and wait.
Japan
All
Air
Nippon
37 Heavy,
563.
runway 16 right, line up and wait.
Taxi to terminal. Starflyer 12.
All Nippon 741, runway 16 left.
Taxi runway 16 left. All Nippon 471 heavy.
Taxi to terminal.
I just don't think I did a great job here.
Taxi to terminal via Charlie. Starflyer
Japan
12.
Air 513 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Contact departure at 500.
Taxi to terminal via hotel.
Japan
Starflyer
Air
12.
513 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. What is going
Taxi
on?
to runway 16 left. On Nippon 535.
Japan Air 513 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. There we go.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 16 left.
All Nippon
741.
535, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Runway 16
All Nippon
left,
741,
clear for
runway
immediate
16
takeoff. On
left,
reaching
line up and
altitude
wait.
500, contact departure. All Nippon 563.
Runway 16 right. Cleared for immediate
New
takeoff.
Sky
On reaching
32,
altitude
taxi to
500.
terminal.
Contact departure. Japan Air 575.
All Nippon 91 Heavy, pushback approved, expect runway 16 left.
Runway 16 right.
Japan
Line up and
Air
wait.
629er,
Japan Air 513 heavy.
runway 16 right via Alpha. All Nippon 564, taxi to terminal.
Cross runway 22. Japan Air 987 heavy.
Taxi to terminal. Japan Air 152.
Taxi to terminal.
All Nippon
Korea
471 Heavy,
2101
runway 16 left, cleared for immediate departure. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure. Whoops. All Nippon 471 Heavy, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 500, contact departure.
Runway
16 right, line up and wait. Japan Air 987.
Japan Air 987 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 16 right, cleared for
Japan
immediate
Air
takeoff on reaching
629,
altitude
taxi to
500.
runway
Contact
16
departure.
right.
Starflyer 77. Cross runway 22. Japan Air 37 Heavy.
Negative. I'm on the ground. Japan Air 584 Heavy.
Runway
Okay.
16 right, clear to land. Japan Air 562.
Runway 16 left, clear to land. Japan Air 504 Heavy.
Runway
Alright.
16 left.
Ooh.
Line up and wait.
There's a
Only
lot going on.
535.
Runway 16 left, line up and wait. All Nippon 471 heavy.
All Nippon 454, runway 16 left, cleared to land.
Taxi to terminal, Skimark 512.
Pushback
Okay.
approved. Expect runway 16 right. Japan Air
All
629.
Nippon... Oh, it's not ready yet.
Runway 16 right. Line
Japan
up and
Air
wait.
479,
Japan Air 37 Heavy.
taxi to runway 16 left. I don't know where that plane is, but
Runway 16
wherever
left.
it is,
All Nippon 741.
it's gonna get there.
I'm on the ground. Japan Air 513 Heavy. Negative. Need correct runway. Japan Air 513 Heavy. Runway 16 right. Cleared for immediate takeoff. On reaching altitude 500. Contact departure. Japan
All
Air
Nippon
513 Heavy.
741, runway 16 left, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 16 left. Cleared for immediate
Japan
takeoff
Air
on
234,
reaching altitude
runway
500.
16 right,
Contact
cleared to land.
departure. All Nippon 535.
Japan Air 37 Heavy, runway 16 right, cleared for immediate takeoff upon reaching altitude 500. Contact departure.
Runway 16 left. Line up and wait.
Japan Air
All Nippon
562,
741.
taxi to terminal.
Taxi to terminal, Ski 32.
Pushback approved, expect runway 16 left. All Nippon 91 Heavy.
Japan Air 504 Heavy, taxi to terminal. All Nippon 91 Heavy, taxi to runway 16 left via Charlie.
Negative. Need pushback first. Japan Air 629.
Taxi to terminal. Omnipon 564.
Japan 504 Heavy, taxi to terminal via Charlie. What happened? Oh boy, is it crashing or something? I've never had this happen, but I'm wondering if I have so many calls that it just doesn't know what to do. Well, this is new. This has never happened to me with Tower Simulator, so we may have overwhelmed it. Oh, come on. I want it to come back. So let's see. We did get to 16. Not great. Yeah, we got a lot of heavies though. But yeah, that's a good one for heavies. I think I would have been okay if I had... I think I needed a couple things now that I know the airport. Again, that's part of the problem I'm running into is I'm like running these blind. I probably needed cameras on the other side where I could see where the taxi lines were going because the concrete that was the ground there just made it really hard to see. So yeah, I'm trying to see how far we got. I'm sure this was 100 for Haneda. Yep. So we got 54, but progress to the next level is 1,000. See, I'm almost thinking at this point, like once we crossed 15, well, maybe it's still going to be 75. I don't know. But yeah, my problem ends up being we've got 8 remaining. I'm running out of schedules to get myself to 20. I can't believe it crashed. But it did. So that is what we have. So in any event, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, it was crazy. But yeah, there's things I can do to do better. I mean, I guess you have to cross 2-2. I think taking everything off on 16 left would be bad. I think only having 16 right as my takeoffs would also be bad. I mean, I think I need dual runways for what we had. So yeah, it was just because I got stuck, and then, you know, obviously I had to delete a few things. But yeah, the heavies were nice, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what we get into in the morning. So I will see you next time.